We're going. All right. So how's it going, everyone?
How's it going, everybody?
Been what, 6 months since the last time we revealed a video? I think it was like
Yeah,
July 27th was the last time we had a video. Uh, but now that we're
I'm
kind
gonna
of,
chalk that up to scheduling conflicts.
yeah,
We just couldn't get
yeah.
anything done.
But now we're kind of on a. We're at least gonna try to release one at least once a week, right?
Once a week to I think like once every week or every other week, just
Around in
to
that area, yeah.
just to make sure we got it.
Yeah. But well, with your new job, you kind of got more time that works around my time, and you have more of a like a
Well, yeah,
set
because I
schedule.
get I actually get like weekends off for the most part.
I get weekends off for the most part right now too. So yeah, it's pretty good. And anything, you normally don't work anytime 10 to 12, so I mean that'll work out good for us. So blah blah blah. Oh shit. Okay. We're I just heard Skype shut on yours. So and
No,
also oh go ahead.
no,
Oh
that
okay.
was my laptop getting booted up.
Okay. And also that is another thing. I think after a while, of course, after not after, but for a while, we're gonna be using Skype as our main means to record these until we get further into it.
Right.
And eventually we plan on, doing streams and stuff of this. That way we have live audience kind of thing where people can interact with us. But right now this is the best way we can do it.
Right.
So anyways, I mean there's a lot of topics in today's news that we could bring up right now that have got both of us pretty fucking heated.
Honestly, I just kind of want to say that before we like actually start talking about anything, we don't have any sort of
We've got a based view on it.
right. Like, these are our personal views. We're not meant to offend anybody, and if we do, then tough cookies.
Yeah, tough
I
cookies
mean,
like
it's not intentional.
yeah, we're not sitting there going like, "Oh, well, fuck that person in general." It's just this is the way we see it. Of course, a lot of people are gonna see it different as what different
Right.
people live. So, uh,
Right.
yeah,
It's just
because there's
that
a lot of religious and a lot of racism, like race kind of stuff in the news today, which
right, and we're not racist. We're not prejudiced against any other religion or anything like that. So we just want to make that clear
yeah,
before we start.
yep, we hate everyone equally. No, see, okay, that's something I thought about, and I'm not sure if I ever brought it up to you, but the saying "I hate everyone equally," I don't think that works. I think "I hate everyone fairly" is a better term for that because it's it's more like say this guy were to go just punch a little girl. I'm not gonna like that guy. That guy is immediately in my book a shitty person. Now, if somebody goes and picks her a flower, I'm gonna like that guy. Even if, it doesn't matter. It's just
Unless
well.
he's a pedophile, because then it goes downhill from there.
No, no, that's a good thing. You picked the flower, bro. Like that's all right. The camera just zoomed way in on your face again.
Oh.
It's all good though. So anyways, do you want to what do you want to talk about first? Like,
Um, I think first off, so we can kind of get all the bullshit out of the way and talk about what we actually care about. Is let's see, go with the Iraq kidnappings.
okay, so I guess I barely read about that. There wasn't a lot that I did read about that. Um, wasn't it like three people got kidnapped over in Iraq and like
hmm
so what's I guess the big deal with that?
I think the big deal is like after we've had such a presence there for the longest time, the fact that we're still getting people targeted by like these kidnappings, and these three were contractors that were kidnapped by, I want to say, Shiites.
Yep, I think I do remember. Yep, it would have been
Right.
Shiite.
Right. And I just
Yeah,
the
foreign
the
hostages
the,
in
the
Iraq.
response hasn't been all that great. What it was announced last week or earlier this week, and it was like a day, maybe two, worth of news, and then it kind of dropped off.
Yeah. Here it says three American contractors missing in Iraq were kidnapped. The Iraqi defense minister said Thursday. Let's see. The contractors were visiting a house in Dora, a district in southern Baghdad, when gunmen abducted them. They had been identified as two Iraqi Americans and one Egyptian American. Wow, my mouth will not work right now. They work
Get
for
your
a
shit together, man.
they work for a security service company called Sallyport, so it makes you kind of wonder why they would take those guys.
Well, considering that they're American alone is a big enough target on Tillman's back over there. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, if they're contractors for security,
yeah.
that's not much better.
That's the problem. I was kind of like that's scary. Like, what if they were like securing, security for something, I guess, super important. But I guess you
Right.
kind of run that risk for signing up for security. Like that is one of the things. I had a old neighbor who used to work for like a security company for a factory. So I mean, it wasn't that big of a security thing, but that's one of the things you kind of have to worry about is people being pissed off that you're doing your job.
No, I think with the stability over there, it's more so just people being pissed off at America. Now, like there are a lot of supporters of us over there that we're doing the right thing, but overall, it's just gonna be
Yeah,
we came in, we fought a war there, and we are still there. This is an over. Let's see. This is one of the longest American wars that we've ever had.
yeah.
Going on 15 years now,
How do you feel
or
about
close
that?
to. Um, I mean, it's kind of a mixed thing. Like I'm glad that we're helping people out, but I think the context and the the view of which we've done it is not the greatest. And so I there are times where I think we just need to stick to our own business and let people fight it, like figure it out themselves.
Yeah,
And we just stick our nose where it doesn't belong. But at the same time, I mean, it's a double edged sword. You know, we can either help and have people hate us for being there, or we can either not help and then have people talk down on us and bitch and complain about how we're not helping.
yeah.
And I think one of the biggest examples is like when Russia and Ukraine were having their little
Whoa.
bout, which yeah, well, no,
Yeah,
I mean Ukraine practically asked us to come help them, which is fine and everything, but they're asking us to come help against Russia, the second one of like practically the second largest military power, who is an ally to us, and they want us to help like smooth things over. I don't know. I just think it's a little overblown.
yeah. No, for me, I think, we have a lot of troubles in this country itself. Like, you can't go to school, you can't go to the movie theaters, you can't go anywhere without, being
Right.
afraid. No, I'm not saying, post-military men and everywhere because, even the military people, there's sometimes where some guy loses his mind. It's just,
Right.
I think it's the whole. I'm trying to think of how to word this. Basically, we're over there trying to protect them from war zones and stuff, but we haven't fixed everything over here. Now, granted, their countries are a lot less stable than ours is. Like to a certain extent. They have you can't go outside without getting maybe shot at by a tank. I don't know. I've never lived over there, but from the pictures and what the news says, it seems pretty crazy. Like the worst thing I have to worry about is maybe going outside and getting hit by a car. Uh,
Right.
but at the same time, I think we should kind of focus, you know, maybe not being in other people's countries as much.
Right.
But we've been over there for quite some time. What, 2001 is when we started going
Yeah.
there? It's
Like
been
I said,
15 years.
close to 15 years. Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's
Yeah, and I mean, going from that, so we can, like I said, we're gonna try to split things up that way. We're not dwelling on a
Yeah,
lot of
one
things. And if
subject.
yeah, and if you guys want to add in your comments, what you think, anything like that, or anything that you want us to talk about, I'm sure we'll say it again before this
Yeah.
ends. Just leave it in the comments and stuff, and we'll do our best to get to it.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things that's why we wanted to go to like live streaming on Twitch or some other podcast or
Right.
video website, so we can have live interactions. It's just we don't have a big enough base yet, and one or two people commenting, it's not going to be worth it at that point. I think once we get quite a few viewers, which means hey, go tell your friends at school, go do this, go do that, but at the same time, we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you guys want to hear. We want to know what we can do better.
Right.
Moving
Um.
on. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about games next, or do you want to talk about what's? Let's talk about what's
No.
going on at the Oscars right now, because that to me is just crazy. And again, like we said, we're looking at this from a non-racial side. I'm more looking at this as the actors and actresses are all the same. And I can understand why people are mad, and upset because there hasn't been any other race besides white put up for nomination. But you have to
Right.
look at it. First off, there's not as many of those. There's a lot of white actors and actresses. There are a ton of them. And there's not as very many. Whoa. For the
No, you're fine.
majority. No, I'm not. The video is zooming in on you. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. We're having a little bit of a technical issue here. Just sit
No,
still.
I switched it to full screen, so that's why it's all messing up. I wanted to actually get that going. Um.
Are you sure? Because it
So
is trying to zoom in on your face as you move.
I know what it's doing. Uh. No, but with this whole lack of diversity thing or claims of racism, with what it's worth, um, I don't know. I find it ridiculous. Do I think that some of these actors are deserving?
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh yeah. There was I
You
guess
know, you got Will Smith. The big problem is or one of the biggest notes is Idris Elba or let's see, what was the movies that people were complaining weren't up for it? Beast of No Nation, I think, and I can't think of the other one off the top. But basically, what it is there's claims of racism, like nobody black got an Oscar, nominated for an Oscar. The films haven't been nominated, and well, basically, my opinion on it is that while there are black actors and actresses and everything like that, I- it seems like it is a predominantly white, uh, white function, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, and you got all these actors and actresses speaking out against this diversity or speaking for it or things like that. You got Jada posting up videos on Facebook. You got people coming out in interviews about it, and it's ridiculous because you got. I mean, for one, we have sports which are more and more predominantly black athletes. Not one person is complaining about it. No,
No.
not one white person is complaining like, oh, hey, like say for example, Michael Vick got an MVP while I don't know, Aaron Rodgers didn't. I mean, I'm not a sports guy, but it's
Yeah.
just it doesn't make any sense as to why this needs to be an issue. I think at this point it's just people trying to make a bigger deal about
Mhm.
this than what needs to be.
I think what really upsets me about it is, like you said, if Michael Vick wins it and Aaron Rodgers doesn't, no one freaks out. But that's because we can see that, Aaron Rodgers and Michael Vick, if you put their stats next together, if that were to happen, I guess I'm not a sports guy either, so I don't know whether Michael Vick is better than Aaron Rodgers, but if you put their stats next together, you can actually see, this one's doing better than this one, and that's why he won that. Uh, but when it comes to acting, you can't really tell that unless you go out and you watch every single movie, and then you have all the ratings and stuff. And if an actor does great in a movie that does shit, that's terrible because that actor right there is now not gonna get it. So it's
Hmm.
to me, I don't think they should put so much pressure on it or so much, angst and I basically I don't think they should put as much media onto it as this because there's no way to, I guess, really identify whether an actor is that great or not because like say you went out and you acted in the new Star Wars and you just, you weren't the greatest actor for the position, but you still got the job. And you acted, subpar. But
Hmm.
somebody who's playing in, I don't know, like a smaller movie that came out, indie film, and, you know, they did an amazing job, but that movie didn't do good. All of a sudden, this guy who did subpar is doing better than this guy who did amazing. So it's like, to me, it's very difficult to judge that. And I guess it's very difficult, and I don't think they should put as much media and as much attention into it as they are.
Right.
Boycotting it is very, very like that is
Extreme.
yeah, that is extreme. That's like that's terrible.
And yeah, and to kind of go even further, there was a call, like someone was speaking out against everybody, like talking shit on the diversity of everything and saying how you have like there's BET, there's
Hmm.
like Black History Month awards
BlackPeopleMeet.com.
specifically for black people, and no one complains. Now
Yeah,
we're not racist. Like I know we've said it, but we're not racist or anything. We just don't see the point in segregation. People like they would complain about segregation, like they want everyone to be treated equally, but yet when it gets to a point where there's a call to like challenge BET or the Black Awards or anything like that, they're gonna be like, no, this is something we built to set ourselves apart. You were just fighting for segregation or for integration, not segregation. You were talking shit on segregation, but yet you still want to be a part of apart from it. Like,
it.
how does that make any sense?
I actually got into a huge, huge heated argument on a website where they had brought that up. I was some lady from I think CNN. She's like a CNN writer or reporter,
Mm-hmm.
and she came out and said, if you want to get rid of segregation, get rid of things such as BET. Come, just make it one big thing.
Exactly.
And so I went into the comments and I made a slight joke. I made a joke that basically said, "And stop making black only movies. I'm looking at you, Mr. Perry." Just making a joke because of course everyone loves Tyler Perry movies, and that
I
was my
can't stand him. I
yeah,
don't
see,
find him
no, it was
funny.
I put loved in quotations because I mean I got all this backlash for being oh that's stupid, that's racist. I was like, well, first off, I didn't say that. It was all a joke. First off, second off, I wasn't racist about it at all. I was just saying quit making those kind of movies. And then one guy was just all like, quit being racist, blah blah blah. You're racist for saying that. And I was like, okay, I get it. First off, I'm white. It is very hard for me to say that I'm not racist and say stuff like this. So it's very difficult. But
Yeah.
uh, I basically went on there and said, I'm not stating, anything about race. I'm stating that if they want to keep segregation away from this, they need to quit doing stuff like that. And then I went and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can go look at. BlackPeopleMeet.com was a huge one for me this past few years because, okay, I'll admit I have a BlackPeopleMeet.com. It's because my cousin made it for me as a joke. Uh, but going on there, perfectly fine. Great website. It's a great thing. I think it's awesome. Uh, but then I think it was like 6 months, 6 or 7 months ago, whitepeoplemeet.com, something along the lines of that, got released, and there was so much, oh my gosh, that's racist. And it's like,
Right, and that goes into the whole, since when did everyone start getting offended by everything? Like, I know that's a huge thing, and I'm definitely not going to get into that with this. It's just within the last, what, 6 months,
yeah,
everyone started being offended
really
by
offended by
everything.
everything.
Just things just somehow turned into matters of race where there was no need to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, oh, I can't remember what it was. I'll have to think of that and remember that one. But, anyways, going on with everything, there was that, and I get it. BlackPeopleMeet.com got actually a whole bunch of backlash for being racist, but it wasn't as publicized as WhitePeopleMeet.com. Another thing, uh, was of course I brought the White Men Can't Jump movie with Woody Harrelson in it. I haven't seen the movie, so from what
Woody Harrelson, by
Woody
the way.
Harrelson, yes, I'm sorry. Uh, from what I've understood, the movie's about how a guy joined a predominantly black league and beat the stereotypes for white boys can't jump. Okay, so that's under the table. I can't use that anymore. Which I've never watched the movie, but I was just like, if we're talking about this here, is that really a great movie to release? And somebody pointed it out, and I said, all right, you know what? That you are correct. I have yet to see the movie. Maybe I should watch the movie first before. The last one I brought up though was, do you remember Left 4 Dead 1?
Lewis.
No, no. When there was a whole bunch of black backlash because there were no black zombies. All the zombies were white. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and I know exactly where you're going with
Hmm.
this, and all I'm gonna say is the reason why there is no black zombies is because
They were trying to.
why should it matter?
Yeah,
Well,
zombies had actually a
Re-
grayish tint to them, and it was just like they were showing skin decay. I'm sorry, I don't know what a dead person looks like.
right,
Whatever color they are. I'm not gonna go study
but
that to make a video game.
to go along with that is Resident Evil 5 got a shit ton of backlash. Why? Because it was black zombies. You were going around shooting black
Wasn't
zombies
it based in
because you were
Africa?
in
I was gonna
Africa.
say.
Like it wasn't like South Africa where there is a predominantly white area.
Yeah,
You know, it was in a small made up village in Africa.
yes, and that's I think that's what I finally ended it on was why why are we putting segregation between an evolutionary thing? Because whether you believe in God, whether you believe in evolution, blah blah blah, the color of your skin is an evolutionary protection for you. If you go out and tan, your skin turns a brownish color because your skin's trying to block out that those UV rays. And that's why when if you were to actually there's a graph out there somewhere where it's got like you know skin colors for different countries. And if you look at it, where the equator is where everyone's the darkest, and that's because that's where, of course, the sunlight hits the Earth more. So to me, why is there so much segregation between something that's an evolutionary, means to protect ourselves from cancer and harmful things? That would be like, yeah, that would be like me getting mad because I guess I don't know because we have opposable thumbs. Like
Right.
I guess I've never understood it. So basically, short point to this is we don't understand why there's so much argumentation between this kind of segregation. I mean, it's I understand race, people being mean to each other because of race, disabilities, etc., etc., etc. That's always going to be a thing. People are evil, no matter the way you look at it. People are dicks. People are douches. No matter the way you look at it, people are always going to be mean. It's primal instinct. We are just terrible things. We're animals on the inside. So people being mean, that's a
I
perfectly
guess
normal thing. But when it's at a massive scale like this, it's like, okay, we need to calm down and look at ourselves
right.
because
I mean, I guess what we want to end on is there is no reason for segregation or anything like that. I mean, BET, Black People Meet, stuff like that. It's all about interest. I
yeah,
think Idris Elba should deserve an Oscar. I think Will Smith deserves an Oscar,
me too.
especially for his role in 7 Pounds
Oh my
or
god.
I Am Legend. Fantastic.
I think
I,
and I think what happens is there like a place you can go to vote for the Oscars? Is that like how that works, or does it just work basically on the ratings of the movie?
no, I think there's an actual committee that does it, but
Okay, well
that
maybe they should open that committee to the public and we vote on it. Like, hey, we want Leonardo DiCaprio to win a freaking Oscar. We want Will Smith to
needs
win an
to
Oscar.
already.
I
Jesus
know
Christ.
it's why can't we vote for it then? I mean, we're the ones watching the freaking movies. Why can't we vote on it? Because these guys in these committees are gonna rip these movies apart bit by bit. When we see the movies, we feel it. It's like, okay, let us watch these movies. Let us vote on it. Like, I would like that a lot better. I'm actually gonna do some research and see how the Oscars are voted
Right.
upon. But anyways, so we're gonna move on to the next segment because we have spent a lot of
Um.
time talking about this.
Yeah. Let's go into. Let's see. I got.
The
Let's
20
go.
or
Okay.
so.
Okay. Just last week.
Hmm.
Um. There was something very controversial that happened at the Halo 5
Oh
World
my! Can I
Championships.
just play the video? Can I? I've got the video up.
Abs-
Can I
yeah,
play that
yeah,
video?
yeah. Please
All right,
do,
we're gonna
please
switch
do.
over to the video. It's not gonna have camera angles, but it's gonna have just the video. Uh, so here we
Where
go,
are you,
and
HOG?
it is great.
Oh.
They did this
okay.
Oh,
in
so,
a
so
public
he's now
a
outside
Public
the map.
setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still trapped
I
there,
mean,
especially
like I
on
said,
World
the
this
Champions,
is
portions
isn't
of
it?
this map.
yeah,
Actually,
World
7
Championships.
What
The
is
and the thing that
happening here?
actually, you know what? Just play the video and we'll get into the discussion after.
Did something happen to why they're doing this? I am not sure.
There we go. Sorry, I had the window scrolled up a little bit. I'm an idiot. But the thing I want to point out is because the people who are watching this right now, if you look at the team's name right here, it is Team Me Sing, which if you say it right,
I have no idea
missing.
anymore.
Then there's people in their
So
team name
ISOG, so
Hi,
they're outside
H-A-I, Dang,
So,
D-E-N-G,
as you can see,
hiding.
they're just
There's
finding.
Chi,
Where are these
Tang,
guys?
Cheating. And I think there was one who's HLG, which people Hidden League Gaming. I always thought that was Halo League Gaming.
With the power of the free count.
Yeah, but you also gotta remember this is the Chinese, so there is that possible. Just it is what it is.
Me too.
But I mean, as you guys are watching this, just know that like these guys were in great standing.
Yeah,
Like they weren't doing bad in the championship, so there was no reason for this. And this brings up part of trolling, part of
4 minutes.
you know, cheating and exploitation. And these guys did it at a championship. There was no reason for it.
No.
The greatest thing I want to point out is they were winning this match. The blue team was winning this match, and then they went and hid, so they were gonna win. It's like what the hell? Like come on. And you can tell I'm gonna end the video short, but if you watch the end, you can actually tell. Of course, you know the commentators are being they're joking around and stuff. But at the very end,
Serious case, guys.
Yeah.
you know they're talking like this is a serious case. This is against regulations. Like this is
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody was completely offended and just like outraged over this, myself included when I found out about it, because I was like, "What are you guys doing?" The point of gaming is to have fun. And now, if
Yeah.
you're going to do a tournament or be professional about it, you need to carry that sort of professionalism. You need to have that sportsmanship. I mean, I've been guilty of trolling a few times, but I take it seriously. Like, I don't use exploits. I don't do anything like that just
Yeah.
because it takes away from the game. It takes away from the integrity. It doesn't show any skill.
The only time I ever use exploits is during single player games, and that's to like either beat the campaign or just have a little bit of fun. But when it comes to online
Right.
playing, I get so mad because it's like even camping or like corner camping. Like I understand those are tactics and they're great tactics, but they piss me off. Like I'm sorry. Modern Warfare 2 was probably the biggest one for me when they started aimbots. Aimbots were just terrifying. And
Aimbots. Now, don't get me wrong. Quick scoping.
oh, you
It
quick scope
is
and
a
you can do that.
skill.
Yeah, that's
It's a skill. I'll give it that. It's a skill, but
It's
I
annoying at
think it's
times, but-
dumb.
yeah.
It's dumb. Like it shouldn't be a thing.
Well, I mean, it's a thing because it's, like, that would be like a 3-point, or not 3-point shot, but like a slam dunk or like a full field touchdown kind of thing. No,
Right.
it's showing off at that point. And like I do understand doing quick scoping and like 360s and stuff, but like you said, it's kind of useless. Like remember back I think Ghosts, I was trying to do quick scoping and I think it got us so many losses and you got mad cuz I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm going to try quick scoping this match." You're like, "You always do that and you get us fucked." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you're right." So,
I mean, you got better at it, but it's something that shouldn't be done. It's just gonna be something that I'm always gonna feel strongly against. And
yeah.
I'll admit I'm being a little bit biased. I can't really do it, but that my point
does one quick
being is this is not a thing that should be happening. And so when these guys exploited, went out of the map, and did all this, they ruined the integrity of the game, and they got disqualified too, which made it even worse.
And I'm glad they disqualified him because there may have been like a stipulation where like, well, that's not a rule. But I'm glad they did disqualify him because I'm pretty sure they thought that whole match they were actually going to go on to the next round, and then they were like, no, you're disqualified. You can't do this. Oh, that was actually in
Right.
the Asia qualifiers. So
Yeah. So, going into Let's see.
Let's talk about gaming for a second. I just
Yeah.
actually let's talk about the championships because I love the fact that gaming championships are becoming this huge ordeal. Because if you looked at gaming history right now or things in the news right now, you've got the Super Smash Championship. I think the winners win 1.5 million. Call
Mhm.
of Duty's like 2 million. Halo's like 5 million. It is staggering numbers that the winning team wins. And to me, that is
Yeah.
just amazing. Like,
And I mean,
you,
I don't want people thinking that just because you game or anything, you have an easy chance at getting it. Like the actual odds
No.
of being put on a pro team, being signed, and getting this money is astronomical. Like you could go to a tournament and maybe win a couple hundred, 1,000 at like a regional,
You have to
stuff
win
like that.
game after
But
game after game after game. I honestly
yeah,
want to know the
this
numbers,
is.
like how many games you have to, how many games like the winner won to get to that spot.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, if you do get signed on, you're making buku bucks.
Hmm.
But it's just one of those things. Like you have to be just
You have to be amazing.
Yeah,
You have to be the LeBron of the freaking gaming.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm pro material, but I'm good, and it's just one of those things. But going on from that,
Yeah.
uh, let's see. We got NDA agreements.
Okay, see, this is something I can't really talk about, I guess, because I don't think I've ever signed one, specifically for video games.
Right.
So I do like the fact that they're doing them, but at the same time, it's like free publicity. Explain what an NDA agreement is, because I was lost when you
Okay,
first said it.
essentially what an NDA agreement is a non-disclosure agreement. Basically, it's a confidentiality clause. So if you honestly, for example, the Division came out with the alpha
Yeah,
back in December, and when they did it, they had you read terms of service, the agreement, and all of that,
read them.
and right. And so basically, what happened was they made it clear that you are under NDA, which
Yeah.
means you really couldn't talk about it. You couldn't stream, screenshot, or record any game clips of playing the Division or playing the Alpha. Now, what happened was later on, shortly after the Alpha ended, you had a couple players post screenshots, post gameplay, stuff like that, and because of that, their account is now banned.
Yeah, like
Right, they're not able to use it anymore. And I'm all for it. Like I think it's a great idea that they do NDAs, especially for like alphas and stuff, because that it covers their own asses. Now that like things are official and there are things out now, it's a bit easier to talk about it. No, when I signed the NDA, I was fully aware and I didn't do anything that would compromise the NDA. I did note there are drastic graphical downgrades compared to the 2013 demo they did for the Division, where that thing looked photorealistic. Now,
Yeah.
not so much.
it was like what they kind of did with you remember when Forza, not the newest one, I think Forza 5 released for the
Mhm.
Xbox One at like E3 and like at the conferences and stuff. The game that you played there, I guess, was amazing. The backgrounds look surrealistic. You could see the crowds and stuff, and the cars were shimmering. If you play that game now and you look at it, the cars are amazing. The track is amazing. I stopped once and looked at the crowd. It looks like cardboard cutouts. It looks like something they would do in a Nintendo 64 game. It's like, okay, I understand it's probably really difficult to do stuff like that. I guess I've delved a little into like video game making, but that was with Unreal Engine. I would just build terrains and stuff. So, most of that stuff was already cut out for me. But these people are, they're building their own software and stuff to do stuff like this. So it's like I understand that stuff is probably really difficult, but come on, don't release it saying it's going to look like that. Like say, okay, we're going to have a little downgrades here.
Yeah, if you're gonna show a product that has that high quality, you need to follow through and actually deliver a product with that high quality. Don't do a downgrade just because, oh hey, we have to sacrifice graphically just so you guys can play it. I mean, I'm okay. Like if they would have released the Division looking the way it does right now, the way the alpha did right now.
Yeah.
That would have been great, but they are now it's become a common occurrence in the gaming industry where they are now promising us things that they just aren't delivering on.
Yeah. But let's take Assassin's Creed in effect there, like all the
Mhm.
bugs they have there, and Bethesda's another one because they were like, oh, we're gonna release this, it just works, and they were gonna release mods for the Xbox One. That has yet to happen. I'm
But
still
they are doing that though. They are doing that though. Like with Assassin's Creed though, Unity looked great when they first came out with it. They released what, a mission that wasn't in the actual game, which is kind of a bummer. But something they showed in Unity was the fact that you had 4 people working through a building, and they were, doing the classic assassin thing. But when it came down to actual gameplay, they showed some really cool features, like how each NPC was aware of each of the players and reacting accordingly. So, like, if you near the end of that video, they showed a guy getting cornered by all 4, and depending on how each person moved, he would react to each of them, not just
like
a generic action.
yeah.
But you got that, but it goes to the sense that they just aren't delivering, and they're aware of the issues with Unity, and Syndicate is fantastic. They fix so much with that.
Yeah.
Fable Legends is another thing. That thing got pushed back immensely. Division got pushed back, which I'm
Yeah.
okay with because I'm still fantastically excited for it. But Fable Legends is such a disappointment because I feel like it's a step back. It didn't feel like a Fable game anymore. And they had NDAs for that too. Which, again, like I said, I'm full support of NDAs or anything like that. But when you get into the issues of releasing content and it's nothing like what we were promised, it kind of brings up the question, what are we going to do with that?
Yeah.
Like how are they going to expect us to react and continue to support if they're not going to follow through?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of, but then again, we sit here and we talk shit about the bad cases. There's been some definitely good cases that have come out. I'm trying to think of some. The Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I know a lot of people don't like Call of Duty and they don't like consoles and stuff. But Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I think Advanced Warfare was great, but that was personal, and I can understand where a lot of people hated it. It was trying to branch off from Call of Duty. Like, it was trying to make it new. So I think what Black Ops 3 did was amazing because that pissed a lot of people off when Advanced Warfare came out. It pissed off a lot of the old Black Ops people who were here since frickin' Black Ops or Call of Duty 1. Like, it pissed them all off. And Black Ops 3 kind of, I guess, tied them all together. And I think it did an amazing job. But we played the beta of that. I'm not sure if did they have a non-disclosure agreement there?
No.
I was gonna say I don't think. They
No,
did.
I want to say the Division was one of the first pre-releases that started doing NDAs, and then more companies started following suit.
Yeah, and I can understand NDAs. They don't want their product released, but at the same time, like, come on, that's free publicity right there. That's amazing. That's just free. People are posting that shit on Facebook, posting it on Twitter, YouTube. It's just like, okay, that's free publicity right there. That is free, hey, look at this game. This is what I'm going to be playing when it comes out. And, all of his friends are going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll buy that game too. It was like Rainbow Six Siege. Had you not played the beta, invited me to play it, I probably would have never bought it. Rainbow Six Vegas and all those games, I never really liked them. I mean, I can understand where they were fun, but at the same time, it just wasn't my playability. I would have never bought Rainbow Six Siege had you not showed me the beta. So it's like, at the same time, it's free publicity. It's free, marketing right there. Why would you not take that?
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think they're covering their asses where they know where people are going to complain, and they knew from the very beginning that people were going to complain about the graphic downgrade. I don't like the graphic downgrade. I think they should have kept with it. I understand, however, that they needed to do that in order to play the game. I'm still excited for it, so I'm completely cool with it. It's just they should have focused better on that.
They've done graphic downgrades before in gaming. When the new consoles came out, the next gen Xbox One, PS4, when they came out, Black Flag had come out, and they actually for the Xbox 360 and the PS3. If you bought them for those, they were actually downgraded to, I think, because they were like, oh, 1080p, you know, this is the most amazing, because back then that was amazing instead of 4K, 5K, whatever you want to go to now. Uh, you know, they were like, all right, so what they did is they took it, without telling anyone, they took it from 1080p and rendered it as 720p. You hardly could tell the difference, but at the same time, they're downgrading the graphics there. And when, you know, it released for Xbox One, they were planning on coming out with 1080p, but I don't think they ever did, if I remember correctly. And you know, I understand, you know, you have to get it to run with the console, but there's other things you could probably take out that would be able to run it. But, you know, I can understand, you know, they're trying to protect themselves on the NDA and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, it's all about like keeping interest and getting people interested.
yeah,
They don't want people. I think what it came down to was they don't want people seeing that product and then basing their decision right there for people that didn't play.
yeah.
You know, because they don't want to lose their market. And it's Ubisoft. They're generally pretty good about their products. Generally, with that being said, Far Cry 4, fantastic, and then you got Rainbow Six. These servers were god awful in the beginning, and it feels
They're
like now,
still a little
yeah,
buggy, but
yeah, they're
a lot
still a little
better.
buggy, but yeah, and
I'm gonna call you out on that. I do not think Far Cry 4 was up to par with Far Cry 3.
really,
Yeah,
I think the writing was perfect, and it was a
think
nice contrast and a nice move from Far Cry 3 with the villain Voss, which that's what got me interested, or that's what got me more interested in Far Cry again, was because of when they released it, they showed Voss, and he just blew my mind. Like
he
that
was.
character was
And
great.
don't get me wrong, Far Cry 4 is an amazing game. Far Cry 4
Mhm.
is awesome, but I just don't think it's up to par with Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3, you had this amazing story-driven, intense campaign. You had, you know, you were trying to save your friends, you were accidentally doing drugs, and yes, you still had that in Far Cry 4. But
Mhm.
my thing with Far Cry 4 is it's that overabundance, you know, action film kind of thing. You went to spread your mom's ashes, you get kidnapped, and you have to take out the top guy. It was way too much. And Pagan Min in Far Cry 4, plus, sorry guys, spoilers at this point if you have not played Far Cry 4.
I think it's far enough along
It
that
is,
it's all
but if they
right.
haven't played Far Cry 4, we're sorry, I guess. We'll try to edit in like spoiler for blah blah blah. Anyways, going on though, Pagan Min was a great person. You know, he was the flamboyant. You know,
I wouldn't say he was a great person.
no,
but-
he was a great character for what
Yeah.
he was. He was just very, and when I say flamboyant, I mean he was just very, you know, colorful with everything he did, and like very.
I think he was a bit more methodical. Like,
Yeah.
for what it's worth, I think he was more like he held himself together a lot more than Voss. Voss was
Oh
a
my
bit
God.
more
Cuckoo.
primal. Like he wasn't. He didn't have that sort of style because you know he was on an island. He just didn't care. Pagan Min was more
Running
you know,
a country.
he was he's stylish. He believed in fashion and all that.
Wasn't
So
Voss underneath someone in Far Cry 3?
somewhat, but other than that, like he was still the main bad guy.
Yeah. That was another thing. There was that one person that served underneath Pagan Min. It was the guy. I can't remember his name. I want to say Scott. I'm not 100% sure that was his name. He was the guy. You break into the place and you have to pretend like you're the person he kidnapped. He's got a daughter. You played the campaign, right?
Far Cry 4, yeah.
Yeah, Far Cry 4. Yeah. So that guy, he was an amazing character to me because he had actual emotions. It was like you know, uh, like when you know you're dragging him away, he's like, I've got a daughter, you know, blah blah blah, and you kill him, you're just like, you know, part of me was like, like that sucks, like I get that, but like Pagan Min, you're just like, here's this fearful ruler who's being a complete dick to everyone here, and that's what I had problems with Pagan Min because like I'm not sure. I guess at the end it gives you a choice to go spread your mom's ashes or shoot him. Of course, I was like, fuck this motherfucker, I could go spread the ashes myself, and I pa without even questioning, just pa. And, you know, it, I guess the thing that really pissed me off about the game, about Pagan Min, was at the beginning, you know, he's like, you and me, we're going to fuck shit up. And it starts playing, you know, the intro music, and then you're like, yo, let's get it. And then it's just like,
Yeah, and I think the way they introduced the whole beginning was just weird. With Far Cry 3, they gave an explanation and it fit well, but with Far Cry 4, it's like you go to spread these ashes, and then it's instant. Like there was no plan for you to go there and become part of this resistance. It was literally you trying to get there without being caught up in this war going on between a resistance and Pagan Min's forces. You just went there for your ashes, and then you instantly get into a fight where you're killing people, and it jumped right into it.
yeah. It was,
The pacing and the writing for that was off, but
Very
I think
quick.
overall
it was still a
I
good
think
game.
overall yeah.
It was still a good game. So moving on, because I'm not sure if I shall be leaving soon.
Mhm.
So moving on, let's just kind of go over what we're going to discuss in later podcasts and what we plan on doing at this point. So at this point, I think, like we said, we were going to do at least bi-weekly videos, so like 2, maybe 3 videos a month. Because you know we still work quite a bit. You know, once we start getting more and more people behind this, more people watching, uh, it'll be amazing. You know, we'll probably do like a video at least once a week, a podcast specifically. But um, I think our plan is to essentially turn this into a career, which would be lovely as hell. Like
Right.
this is a dream job right here. Uh, but of course, you know, we're gonna have events, we're gonna have, you know, giveaways and stuff
Mhm.
eventually. But right now, we're just kind of focusing on getting, of course, first off, you know, places to record, where I'm gonna record at, where you're gonna record at. And I was honestly surprised my hand didn't go into your camera for a second, because I was like, wait, what's happening over here? Uh, but yeah, I think that's our plan for the most part. But of course, you know, we have a lot of scheduling conflicts. Like with my job, I don't know if I'm gonna get home at 6 in the afternoon or freaking 10 o'clock at night.
Right. And my schedule's pretty consistent for the
Yeah.
most part, but it's just life happens, so
Yeah.
we honestly don't know
Uh,
what we'll do. We're gonna try to have it set though.
Yep. And
Um,
we're gonna have Twitter, our Twitter and Facebook handles down in the comments after, you know, after the video. Well,
Mhm.
not after the video, but they'll be down there. You click on those, go follow us there, like us there, and that's where we'll actually, you know, hey, we're posting video this day, we're posting video this day, or when it eventually becomes a
Mhm.
live stream, uh, we're streaming, etc., etc.
right. And you're pretty much gonna be in charge of that because I don't get on Twitter enough to like honestly do anything. Like I don't know. I'm on Twitter once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Um,
You're more of a
real-
Facebook. You are Facebook all like I'll
yeah,
get on my
I'm Facebook crazy.
once a month just to go, okay, my mom messaged me, or oh, hey, that's cool, people saw spiders. Sweet. I deal with them daily. Why do I have to see them on my fucking Facebook? uh but it's like, okay, I'm trying to think where I was. Oh no, you're like on Facebook all the time. I'll see like Trevor, and then they're like, eh.
That's because you don't have a lot of friends, so
Hey,
I
screw
mean,
off.
I'm there in it.
The friends I have are the friends I want to have.
But yeah,
But yeah, that'll be
basically,
something. Yeah.
yeah. I know you don't got a lot of time left, so we're gonna kind of blitz through the rest of these
Do it.
Um,
Blitz time.
current games, like games we're playing right now. What are you playing?
Just Cause 3, Black Ops, you know, just the whole mainstream games. I don't really
Sure.
think there's any that I'm not playing right now.
I got convinced to get Dying Light on PS4, so I'm kind of playing that, and I'm excited because the following is coming out February 5th.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know
So that's kind of exciting. It's been too long for DLC on that game.
Oh yeah. They've
Other
come out
than
with a lot
that,
of updates though. Like
right?
pretty cool
Uh,
updates.
yeah, Bozak Horde is amazing, by the way. But no, basically what games I've been playing right now is Black Ops, Smite,
Oh, yeah.
and then Just Cause 3. I've been going through this kick where I'm trying to finish out games
You bought.
that I've bought.
You bought a massive amount of games last year. Let's see, you got
Well, yeah, because
Warcraft,
you got all those
Fallout, Black
games.
Ops,
Hold on,
Rainbow Siege.
I can list them off right now. I got Battlefront, Fallout, Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear Solid, Siege, Just Cause, Tomb Raider, Need for Speed. I just picked up a Wii U too, so you know.
Super Smash.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Oh, I'm
just-
playing Hyrule Warriors too, which is fantastic. If you're a fan of Dynasty Warriors, please play that game if you have a Wii U.
Adam as a friend.
Going from that, games we're looking forward to. Go ahead.
Games we're looking forward to. I'm actually, and I know you are not looking forward to this game, but I'm looking forward to Far Cry Primal. I am just excited for that game. I don't know what it is. I love the run and gun kind of games, but at the same time, I think this is going to be more of a, sticks and stones kind of game. And to me, of course, you've got Ark, which is Ark for what I've played is amazing.
Yes.
But at the same time, I am going to, get Primal and do something with that. Let's see other games that are coming out. It's the beginning of the year, so it's kind of slow right
top
now.
top three coming out this year.
That's I guess the only real big one I know.
All right. Let's see. I got Division is probably my
Okay, yep,
top.
Yep, Division, I guess.
Yeah, Division's probably my top one.
The next Mario Kart game, totally.
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty because I mean, hey, it's Call of Duty. I enjoy the gameplay on it. I'm one of the few that actually enjoys the story on it, and Black Ops 3 had a bogus story in my opinion compared to Advanced Warfare.
I'm sorry, the Black Ops 3 story hurts my head because it's like we're in a computer, we're not in a computer. Are we in a computer? We don't know.
Yeah.
It's like just stop, please.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Division's my top choice for right now. I honestly can't think of anything off the
I
top.
was gonna say
The
episodic game
let's-
thing.
Yes. Yes.
Hitman, right, is another.
Yes.
I want you to explain that because to me, I guess it doesn't matter because if a game is episodic, I don't get it. Like I
Okay,
don't buy it at all. The only
there-
one I've done is Walking Dead series.
Yeah. There is a fine line between having an episodic game series like Telltale makes, like
Yeah.
Walking Dead season 1, season 2.
And they are
Tales from the
amazing
Borderlands.
at making those. Like their
Yes.
Tales from the Borderlands, Walking Dead. I think they're making a Minecraft one now. They are just
Yeah.
drop dead amazing. Like they have key elements. Voice acting in my opinion could be a little bit better, but at the same time they're
right.
amazing.
You got Wolf Among Us, Game of Thrones, but those are types of games that we expect to be episodic because it's clear what they are
Yeah.
and how they work.
It's just supposed to leave you in suspense. Like those games
right,
are supposed to
with-
leave you in suspense.
With that being said, though, when we're getting into AAA titles,
Hitman.
Hitman, yeah, Hitman's a prime example. They originally announced Hitman and didn't say anything about it being episodic, and I'm excited. I love the Hitman games, but when they announce that it is now an episodic game, they're releasing like a prologue and the beginning mission
Yeah.
as part of the starter, and then they're periodically going to release more maps and continue the story that way. I see their direction, what they're trying to do. The issue with that is it is a AAA game. This is something that has not been known to do episodic content, nor should it have to be.
I think what they should do is okay. So the new Assassin's Creed, kind of like Assassin's Creed. I can't remember it. Like Italy or whatever it is, where they, it's a platformer game now. I think
Oh,
what they should
India?
do- yeah, I think what they
Yeah,
should
they
do
did
is-
Chronicles of China and Chronicles of India.
Yeah, just Hitman Legacies,
Mhm.
and like do it that way at least, so people are like, okay, it's a different game. There's gonna be someone who doesn't do their research and they go, a new Hitman game. They're gonna buy it at the store, take it home, and be very, very upset. And it's just
Right. Um, and this kind of gets in. This kind of gets into how I feel about it, where it goes. It seems increasingly Destiny is a prime example. Bringing that into it is just DLC is okay to further the story. That is okay, but to not release a complete game, because in my opinion, releasing Hitman as an episodic game is not releasing a complete game.
yeah.
This is the gaming industry going in thinking, oh hey, we're gonna make more money because we're breaking up a game. We're not gonna sell a complete game. We're gonna sell partial bits and then release content later on, or we're gonna have a full game, but it's going to be locked. So we're essentially having you pay more money for a game that you have with all the content that you're supposed to have, but it's time locked.
Yeah.
You know, it's money grabs, and it's frustrating for a lot of the people that game, just because we shouldn't have to deal with that.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a money ran. I mean, of course, I understand, it's a job and they make millions of them, but they make
Right.
millions already. Say they take the Hitman game, they split it up into 4 different episodes, each one $30. They're making $120 right there instead of releasing it for 60. But in my eyes, if they release those 4, they shouldn't release DLC, right? So say they release, Hitman, they release 3 packs of DLC each for $20. That's 60. That's 120 still. They can still make their money elsewhere. And so it's like, why do that? Why screw over the gamer like that? And a lot of companies in the past have done that. They have screwed over their gamer. Let's look at EA. And I'm sorry, I know we're supposed to be blitzing through this, but let's look at EA and their microtransactions. That has pissed a lot of people off. And they're still sort of doing it. I think eventually they're gonna be like, all right, we are pissing people off. Let's quit. Like, I hope that's what their eyesight is. But EA loves money. Another one that happened, but they took it away. They started charging people on Steam for mods for Skyrim. They started, you had to,
yeah.
see, and that was immediate backlash. Within the first day it was released, they canceled it. They scrapped it completely, and I can understand, especially for Skyrim on the PC. Mod people who do the mods and stuff, mod developers, they want money for that, and I can understand that completely. You work 10,000 hours on this mod, you release it, and you get $20 in donations. That sucks. That has got to suck. But at that point, it is your decision to either A, take that and capitalize on it, because you could make a company out of making mods. There's people who's done it before. Make a company based on making mods. Do something with it. Make your own small little game if you're that good at making mods and stuff. I don't know. Just do something miraculous with it. You have to market it. You have to capitalize on it. But at the same time, I can understand. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, going back to the original subject, we're seeing it a lot where these video game developers, they're screwing over the gamers, and then the gamers just stop playing those games. Eventually, hopefully, like EA understands, maybe we should quit microtransactions. Probably not going to happen because EA makes a shit ton of money off their sports games.
I don't want to see a game company go down the drain, or a game series that I've grown up playing, that I've absolutely loved playing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them go down the hole just because
Like Naughty
they
Dog
took
almost did.
they took they took a direction and just ran with it, and it didn't end up being good. They already know that they're pissing a lot of people off.
Let's look at Konami for a second.
Oh, let's not get into that. We'll save that for next time.
Yeah.
No, but real quick to add on to that episodic thing, and then we'll get off this topic, is they finally announced, like, when they announced it last year, I was in tears. Like, this is something that has meant the world to me, and it meant the world to thousands and thousands of gamers. The Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. It looks gorgeous. Gameplay looks solid. It looks a lot like Kingdom Hearts in the sense of gameplay style, which is great. Now they're announcing that is episodic. I kind of have issues with that because it doesn't need to be.
No. Because
But
it was an
it is-
already released game.
Well, they're completely redoing it. It's not like they're
Oh.
just doing graphic upgrade on it. It's going to be completely original build. They are changing parts of the story to kind of fit with the game, which I'm okay with, as long as they keep the essential story the same. But the issue that I have with it is, again, with the episodic game. Now, if they did it in a sense where, like, say they release the first part of the game, if you've played it, I can't remember if you played it, but basically it was a 3-disc game.
Okay.
If they released it episodically, where the first part was the end of what would be disc 1,
Yeah.
for the original version, where that would actually end up being in this remake. If they ended up doing that, where it was basically episodic according to the discs from the original to the new, I'm okay with that. Like, I get that. It can't be put at regular retail price, which is $60. It can't be done like that, though. It, like, $40 per episode would be fine, especially if this game is going to be as massive and as big as it is. I will shell out money for this game. But
Yeah.
I think overall Final Fantasy VII is going to end up being fantastic the way they do it, and I'm really happy that they're addressing this now instead of later. But to kind of get off of that, so we can kind of finish up. Like we said, we're going to try to do things bi-weekly. We're going to put info down, and if we want anything from your comments, give us ideas to talk about, your thoughts on any of the subjects that we talked about, please let us know. Subscribe, like if you enjoy our stuff.
Yeah, we basically want honesty, what you guys want. We will shape this company around shape this channel, these videos around what you guys want.
Right. And we stream
Occasionally here and there. I've been getting back into it again. I had some
right.
Basically, I just didn't want to stream at the time, so I was like, it does. It takes a lot of emotions, and it does take a lot of work.
a lot of time,
Yeah.
a lot of
I didn't realize how exhausting it is. Like, it can actually get really fucking exhausting. I love doing it, and I would do it for the rest of my life, but it is exhausting.
Right. We just need to find points of time to where we can, but like we said, life happens, so we can't really.
That we need to build a
base.
follower base. Yeah.
Right.
So go tell your friends about it. Go post us on Facebook. We do not care. There's some people who are like, don't post our videos. We don't care. Post it away. Post it on Pornhub. I don't give a shit. Like, post it anywhere you want. You're like, oh, hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's do it. Let's fuck YouTube. We're gonna go straight to Pornhub.
Well, I mean, when Pornhub goes from watching porn to talking about Fallout,
I love going
or
through
Witcher.
the comments now. You can't find you can find a video. Please don't go against, oh, hey, I found one. But like,
does anybody know where to find a UFO?
Hey, fucking someone started a Preston Garvey account on Pornhub, and
No.
we go through the comment section going, after you are finished, there's another settlement that
Oh my god, that's incredible.
They are amazing. A lot of people are, oh, memes get so stupid, or these comments get so stupid. Yeah, they do get stupid. I understand that. Whoever is taking
That's the point of memes.
Is amazing. Like, to me, it's freaking hilarious. You have to look at it as a standpoint of joking.
Or I don't know if you've seen the meme of Preston Garvey, but they took the shots of The Shining, like the axe coming through the door, and you don't see anything.
Johnny.
And then when it's supposed to show Jack Nicholson through the crack in the door, it's Preston Garvey is like, there's another settlement that needs your help. I was like, oh, that's practically what it was. I couldn't get away from him. But I don't know how you're feeling, but I think now's a good time to end it and see how this goes.
All right, fuck, shit. But no, anyways, yep, that's where we stand on it. If you have any questions, comments, maybe someday we'll do like a questionnaire to where we answer a whole bunch of questions. But for right now, we're just going to do these podcasts. And basically, a lot of podcasts, or a lot of people talking about today's events and stuff. we really honestly don't have, besides work and what the news tells us, we don't have a lot going on in our lives. So, I mean, eventually it's going to be stories that we have, but
Right.
these very first few ones are going to be very, very billboard-like, very
Yeah, we're basically testing out how this goes, and what we want to do is find how we're going to run this.
Yep.
We're not gonna make it a habit of talking about like
very
religious
yeah.
politics,
Yeah.
racism, stuff like that. We're not gonna do that. Like our
These are
main
just-
concern is entertainment, movies,
Yeah.
games, geek and nerd culture kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind. So if this was boring, sorry.
Tell us how to make it entertaining. Like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and eat hot peppers or anything, but we'll make it entertaining.
Oh, I
somehow.
mean,
You
you'll
shut
do
your
it for
mouth.
like.
You shut your mouth. I don't want to hear that right now. You shut your mouth. Anyways, I think that's it for now. I've got a busy Saturday schedule today, so I will let you go, and we'll just leave in the comments, like, favorite, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. So
Yep.
later.
Bye, everybody.